Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Let me just share my screen so we can go through the presentation. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar about Brussels and why choosing Brussels as a destination for your company. My name is Madi, and I work as Inward Invest Officer for hub.Brussels at the Embassy of Belgium in London. And today I would like to present to startups how Brussels is currently placed in an European context on an economic and administrative level, and what technicalities are essential in order to set up a business in the Belgian region. So first of all, what do we know about Brussels? Certainly, we know that it's the place where the EU institutions are, where all the talks about Brexit took place, the place where all the restrictions and new regulations are coming from. But Brussels is not just that. It's a city with a population of more than 1 million inhabitants. It's the region of one of the three regions composing the whole Belgian federation system. It's a city and a region composed from different ethnics, different languages, different nationalities. So it's an incredible cosmopolitan place. It's the capital of Europe, but it's also a place with its own open economy and with three official languages, Dutch, French, and German. So, so today I want to talk about why Brussels is an interesting place for investors. And then the second part of this presentation is how to set up your business in Brussels. So aside from the points I mentioned earlier in regards to how the city is important on a European level for international decisions and institutions, Brussels also offers a very international talent pool and innovation center. But also it's a very well ranked on a European level and international level. It can give very good quality and competitive real estate facilities thanks to the good quality of life. Brussels has a business-friendly tax system at the heart of Europe. And why do I say at the heart of Europe? Well, I say this because it's very well connected by road, by sea, by air, and you're able to reach all the other places within Europe from, for example, with the high-speed train, you can reach Paris in 1 hour and 20 minutes. You can reach London and Amsterdam in less than 2 hours. You can reach Frankfurt in 3 hours. There are two main airports, one big international airport at 12 kilometers far from the city center, which has more than 200 passengers connections with a hub dedicated only to cargo and very well ranked internationally by IATA, for example, as a center of excellence for pharmaceuticals. Another map here. And here you can see that being in Brussels is really being at the center of Europe. With equal distance of 500 kilometers or 750 kilometers, you will reach 75% of the EU market in terms of GDP, and you will reach 40% of the consumers within Europe. So being in this in the capital of Belgium gives you access to EU institutions, to the Council of the European Union, to the European Parliament, to the European Commission, the European Economic and Social Committee, the Committee of the Regions, where all the big decisions and lobbying are made. But Brussels not only hosts the institutions, but also the big regional institution like NATO is a place for more than 1,500 foreign journalists, of more than 1,500 international associations, and more than 5,000 diplomats. Being in Brussels gives you access to EU decision makers, to the EU institutions, EU financial instruments, and important tender market. These are some of the reasons why 1,500 foreign companies have chosen Brussels as the European headquarters for sales and subsidiaries. That's why Brussels has been ranked as the 5th FDI destination within Europe, according to EY European Investment Monitor in 2020. So Brussels can offer a very international talent pool and innovation. When we look at this table here on this slide, we can see that between 2005 2020, Belgium passed from the 9th place in terms of innovation to the 3rd place, giving you a better idea about how about the importance of innovation and all of the job done in this field. So in terms of talent pool, Brussels and Belgium in general can give a very good access to talented staff. If you like to look at the study, for example, prepared by IMD, you'll see that Belgium is on the 2nd place, just behind Switzerland, and far before different countries in terms of talent. Brussels is officially bilingual. We speak French and Dutch. But the Belgian system has officially 3 languages, French, Dutch, and German. Most of the time, the language spoken in business is English, like it is worldwide in business. But this also shows how well prepared the people in Belgium are, because there is a very good preparation, very good education system and schooling system. So they are very well prepared to welcome people in business and speaking in English fluently. According to the Global Competitiveness Report prepared by the World Economic Forum, Belgium was at the 2nd place in the primary education, at the 5th place on the educational system, and at the 3rd place for math and science, and again on the 2nd place for management school. And this comparing Belgium to other neighboring countries like the Netherlands, Germany, France, and the UK. So Belgium is a global destination. It's the 1st European Congress city. Is the 2nd international Congress city. Brussels is the 2nd international Congress city just after New York, and is the 1st leading city for foreign diplomatic representation. Also, the city is also the 1st European city for human potential and lifestyle. Is the 2nd European place in terms of language spoken, and the multi-language system in Belgium and Brussels, in particular, is the 3rd European city for economical potential, according to the FT. An important aspect that regards investors choosing a location is the real estate cost. We know that it's very important. In Brussels, if you look at for a prime office location, you can get the rent for 300 euros, more or less, per square meter per year. Just a little bit more expensive than Barcelona and much cheaper than London, Paris, and Zurich. In terms of warehouse, which is also an important aspect to know, we are again on the 2nd place, just after Antwerp, and far before London, Munich, and Frankfurt. But when we look at real estate, we also want to see the renting apartment costs for letting apartment for your staff. So here we want to bring an example. So if you look, for example, a 120 square meter apartment in Brussels, we are around maximum 1,500 euros. When you compare this with London, Paris, and Munich, this cost is cheaper compared to these cities. All this to say that Brussels is affordable in terms of cost of living. In addition to that, there is a good, a friendly tax system. Another map here to show an idea comparing Belgium gives you an idea comparing Belgium to other European places, other European countries, and you'll see that Belgium is ranked on the 5th place in terms of tax system. In Belgium also means taking care of the healthcare system. And Belgium has a very well advanced healthcare system. It's very well ranked in terms of accessibility, and it is just behind the Netherlands in terms of outcome. So the first part of this presentation wanted to show you why Brussels is such an interesting place for business. Now we go into a more technical part, which is how to set up your business in Brussels. So there are a number of steps to consider when setting up your company in Brussels, capital region. So here we brought to your attention 9 important ones. First of all, you need to draft the financial plan, which will at least show, which needs to at least show the projection of the cash flow for the first 2 years. The deed of incorporation will need to be drafted and should contain all the details of the company, such as company name, address, the legal form, shareholders, etc. You will need to provide proof of degree of at least one director in order to verify the management and their entrepreneurial skills. The company shareholders will need to provide proof of their identity, so the ID passport will be required. The company needs to have a bank account, therefore it is necessary to open a bank account with one of the Belgian banks. And the company needs to be registered at the Crossroads Bank for Enterprises, which will then generate the official enterprise number. Deposit the deed of incorporation with the notary, and the notary will take care of the publication of the on the official gazette from the moment the company is active. You need to activate your VAT, and just as a due diligence form, obviously some affiliations need to be set up, which are occupational accident insurance, child benefit fund, directors liability insurance. So these are the main steps to set up your company in the region. Then there are also 2 types of company that you can create in Brussels. Because Brussels is such an interesting hub for small, medium-sized companies, the most common one opened is private limited liability company. And for this type of enterprise, you don't need a minimum capital because it is based on the financial plan. What you need is 1 shareholder, minimum of 1 director. Annual accounts are mandatory and under the responsibility of the board of directors. The dividend distribution is based on the approved annual accounts. If you instead want, if the company said it's big size company, generally the most suited type of company is the public limited liability, which has a minimum of 61,500 euros. You still need 1 minimum of shareholders, and in terms of management, the number of members is quite flexible. You have 3 options, and they are listed here. So it could be a minimum of 3 or 2 shareholders, or it could be just 1 director, or it could be 2-tier management. And obviously, as I mentioned before, for the private limited liability, both types of company need to have annual accounts mandatory, and it is the responsibility of the board of directors. On this slide, instead, we found that it was interesting to bring to your attention the one-off incorporation cost to open a company. These are just for your reference. They are not the usual, might not be the only ones, and might not be the exact fee, but we wanted to just give you an idea. So there are to consider are the costs for publication of act of incorporation in the official gazette, the intervention of a notary for the act of incorporation, the registration at the Crossroads Bank for Enterprises, and the activation of the VAT number. So another interesting part, which is for startups and innovative companies, is the fact that Brussels has a very successful R&D hub. It is actually one of the strongest one in the most successful economic places in Europe. Here on the slides, we want to show you the main points that regarding incentives for R&D. So, for example, there is a withhold tax exemption, 80% exemption of payroll withholding tax, and it is available for universities, scientific institutes, for young innovative companies and commercial companies. There are a lot of initiatives on a regional European level aiming at stimulate the research and development. The investment deduction can be converted into a tax credit for R&D and patents, and the unused credit can be refunded after 5 years. The maximum effective tax rate of 3.75%, which has 85% deduction of the net qualifying intellectual property income multiplied by nexus ratio. The IP investments can be fully amortized, and on the top of the on-top deduction investment value is in qualifying assets amounted to 13.5% up to 20.5%. I also wanted to introduce to you the accelerators of hub.Brussels. Here I pointed out two of them, which are in the healthcare and environment and circular economy field. So we have a MedTech accelerator, which is open to any foreign company who wants to establish a business in Brussels. It focuses on early stage entrepreneurs active in health tech, and helps them through a 6-month program to structure their project, validate their hypotheses, reach their objectives in a timely manner with a concrete help of coaches. And this also is linked to the next point, which is the fact that entrepreneurs will have the opportunity to actually meet the experts, coaches, hospital investors. So this will just create an incredible access to connections and information. The other accelerator is the Green Lab, which is for startups with a sustainable idea in the field of environment and circular economy. It helps companies develop their idea in 6 months through personal coaching, workshops, and expert advice. At the end of this accelerator program, the candidates are invited to come and pitch their project in front of an audience during the Green Lab finale. And applications are open from September 1st to October 31st, 2022. The applications for MedTech are open this year, I believe in April, but I welcome you all to actually go into our website and check for yourself MedTech and Green Lab, because there is a lot of information, a lot of interesting videos, and you can reach out to them directly, and they're very good at explaining how the process works. So I just put here the links for your reference, but you will find easily on our website as well. And finally, just to complete today's presentation, I just wanted to mention the fact that hub.Brussels offers 3 months cost-free hosting. So if you wish to try Brussels for 3 months and have an address there, you can actually use our co-working space at our office. It has access to conference room, meeting rooms, Wi-Fi, and obviously we are still in COVID time, so things might not be as smooth as they used to be. So please, if you wish to know more about this, I really encourage you to reach out to me so I can explain in detail a little bit more. And yeah, so again, for any information you need regarding today's presentation, you can reach out to me. Here you have my details. My name is Maddalena Bortoluzzi, and my email address is here. I also have our economic and commercial counselor details, Munif Kilani, and you can email him as well. I believe some of you might know him already, but in any case, we are happy to listen to your need and your question, and we are happy to answer you. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I thank you for your time today.